Hello, ladies and gents. Just out of the blue, I decided to start playing a game of Supreme Ruler Ultimate, and I've decided to play as China. And I'm going to have these settings that you can see here. I don't care about international opinion. I'll leave that alone. We will have electricity sales. Loyalty penalties to supply and line of sight. I don't like. I don't care about this. We're going to start with the national debt, and I'm not modding. The military settings will be yes, fog of war. I don't ever use enhanced spotting and enhanced ranges. I do want units to be eliminated when the region falls. We will allow nuclear weapons. Penalties are high. Nope, I do not want merchant marine. I just want units to transfer automatically. And I don't care about the weather system, the Battle of Atlantic, which only matters in World War II. We will use rail transport, and colonies can keep their complexes. And for game settings, none, normal, 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 allied victories, fixed capitals off. The default stance starting on medium world volatility. Start game without units, no. Limit domestic approval, no. Limit military approval, no. And use the rail removal, too. I always click that. To be honest with you, it's been so long since I played SRU, I don't remember how to use it. But I know if you find rail that's not connected to anything or just a carryover from a previous map or something like that, you can delete it. I'll have to, if I run across that, I'll have to remember how to do it and start the game. First thing I'm going to do is while it's on pause, well, I'm going to let it run for one day and then pause because I want to get everything, the economy showing properly, so forth and so on. And then I'm going to go straight to, I know I want this locked because I want to do it all myself. Lock minister from social, yep. I'm going to lock minister out of all of this. Yep. And this guy, I will let him do his thing. This is the resources. They can manage all this stuff. If I need to intervene, I'll do it on a one-by-one basis or an individual basis of product. And I definitely want to lock this guy out of everything. And I also want to make sure, yeah, we want that off. Merchant Marine, path to neutral territory, make sure that's off. And allow use of rail. That is on. All right, use of weapons of mass destruction. Nuclear permissions is on. And chemical weapons permission is on. And then there is this. I want to make sure that's turned off because I want to do all this myself. And he is locked from doing any of this. All right. Initiative is low, high, and none, which is just what I want because I want to control everything myself. And for this, I want to load the equipment in that I want. The thing is, when I start a game, I go through and I close out all of this. I don't want this garbage from 1921. Why would I want this? 1955. I get rid of all this stuff at the beginning of every game. So it takes me, I know when I play the USA, it takes me almost an hour to go through all this stuff. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to get rid of all the stuff that I don't even want to show up. And then I'll just cut this out of the video, and then when you come back to this video, you won't even see any of this. All right, I've made my changes. I've gotten rid of everything I don't want as far as the research and the production. However, there's some things I just didn't mess with. Naval launch, sub-launch, silo launch. I don't plan on using any of those. And land launch, I don't plan on using any of those. So what I wound up doing for research, I put in this small carrier, digital services, the M26 Halo, which is a large helicopter capacity, 480, the anti-personnel munitions. We're going for advanced military designs. The Y-20, this is a cargo plane. This is a fighter. You can see the stats here. We did urban renewal, 21st century naval vessels. Again, we're going up for more advanced stuff. And then upgraded manufacturing because that increases our unit build speed and consumer goods output. For production, for ground units, I put in the ZBL09. You can see the stats here. And that clicked on an individual. In addition to that, I put in these. I think 3 of these, which is air defense. And then I put in these mortars, these fast-firing mortars. Well, they're medium. They're the fastest I could get with the best range. And we'll get better. And then for aircraft, I've only got 7, so I put in all 7 the Su-30 Flanker. It's the best thing I can build at the moment. And for naval, I put in, I may have already mentioned this, but this is 23,500 transport ships, or transport ship. I put 2 of those in, and then the rest are submarines, which the best submarine I can build right now is the Shang. You can see the stats for that. And for missiles, I went sandbox all the way, 12 on recurring, continuous build. And now I haven't done anything with this yet, so I'm now for the first time looking at my economy. Domestic approval is only 32.6. Now, keep in mind that China is communism, so domestic approval doesn't really matter. They cannot be thrown out. It's only military. But looking at this, we have 10% unemployment. So the first thing we need to do, I've let this run just a couple of days. I think it starts on the 1st, so I'll probably let it run for 6 days to make sure everything's loaded properly. And we want to look at any shortages we have. You can see we have a shortage in agriculture, a shortage in wood, a shortage in oil, a shortage in metal, a shortage in uranium, and a shortage in electricity. So we're hurting. But the good news is, with this high unemployment rate of 10.1, we can build a lot of facilities and get the people employed, which should also bring up our happiness rating. I want to change this to dollars. I know I'm playing China, but I want to change that to dollars. This will tell us what we're having to buy the most of. Right now, the last day we had to buy this amount of electricity. Let's see what goes on the next day. All right, so it's electricity is really a big issue. So what we want to do is let's look at electricity. We're producing 33, we're using 37. So we need to build some more. And in my opinion, I can build nuclear right off the bat. However, I already know I'm short big time on uranium. Nuclear is possibly the best thing to build right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for, do we have any nuclear production capabilities? I'll go over to the right and click on uranium. Then I'll press S and turn off the supply overlay. You can see we have some areas here that are highlighted in orange. Not very much, though. We have a couple over here, but pressing S again to turn on the supply, you see it's very low supply in these areas. And it's very low supply in these areas. You can actually check the number by clicking on this and looking here. You can see this is only 38% supplied. 38%. We come over here. This area is even less at 32. And this is just 16. So we can't afford to build supply centers because we do have that 10% unemployment. We got a couple here. What is this? This is 45. Ideally, you want more than 80. And it looks like there is a decent amount. I'm going to turn on hexes just so I can get a look at this. So we've got 7 right here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Possibly 12 within range right there. 12 hexes is what I'm looking at. Right here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13. But I don't think I can build right here for industrial. Yeah, you can't build on a military base. All right, that's fair enough. I think for now, this is really close to the border. So I think for now we're going to build uranium right here. But I'm going to start by building. First, I want to see if there's anything else in this hex. Let's look at our commodities. There's good agriculture here. And there's some in this hex that I want to use. Rubber, no rubber. Not much timber. No petroleum. No coal in that hex. No metal ore. No uranium. No electricity. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to build a supply depot right here. 6 of them. And then I'm going to build transportation. I'm going to build rail. We're going to go all the way up to here. And all the way down to here. We're going to take advantage of this airport. We'll come all the way over here. All the way to here. Just like so. We'll just go all the way here. All right, now I don't know. Let's look at what units I have available to me. I have 2,233 at the start. These militia, none of this stuff I want. So I haven't yet gotten rid of any units, but I'm going to have to because I don't want all of this stuff. Right now I'm looking for any engineers. I'm holding shift and scrolling my mouse wheel, which increases the speed of looking through this. All right, there's some combat engineers. So I want them to come out. Let's see if we got any more. Again, holding shift and rotating the mouse wheel, which speeds it up. I don't think we have any more. Any type. All right, there's no more. Let's find out where these guys are at. Let's just lasso everything. And that's 10. And we want them to run all the way down here to right here. So let's put it back on fast. By the way, I play on fast speed right now. We'll see what's going on. Oh, yeah. Dominican Republic offered to sell me coal, and I accepted because they offered 498, and they only requested 364. So, of course, I'm going to accept. Tensions are heightened was what that bell you just heard was, and construction began. This here is just a tip for C's and such, C peers. This is tensions heightened and then reduced, alert level reduced. Let's see what this is. Dominican Republic wants to sell us coal again. This time they're offering 521. They only want 359. So that's even better. I don't know why this plane is out, by the way. I have no idea why that plane is out. Let's get these back in reserve for now. I shouldn't have any. I should only have these. Actually, there's... what is this? Combat engineer. He's slowly getting here. Let's see what this... all right, cutter, as they say. They offer me 3, but they want 4. In this particular instance, I'm going to accept because we're short on timber, and I need timber big time. We're only producing 696, and we're using 2,400, so we're hugely small. So I'm willing to pay more for that than market value. I think we've got 1 extra unit out there. I don't think I have 11. Yeah, there's 8 here. Where's another one? Right here. What is that? That's an aircraft. We want to go back in reserve. I don't know why it's out. This says 11. Where are these guys at? Right here. I want you to go back into reserve. And this gives me only 8. So where's this guy at? Right here. Go back into reserve. And then shortly, I'll get rid of all these aircraft I don't want. Slovakia wants to sell us metal ore. And they're selling it above market value. But as you can see, we're even shorter on metal ore than we are on wood. So we're going to accept. Remember, every little trade will increase our standing with them. All right, military facility convert. Now, what that will be is the complex. Just the complex, the interior core, which, as you can see, is the military complex. We still have the supply depots to build. I've got 7 of those. And I've actually gotten rid of these combat engineers. These guys out again? What's the deal, Phil? Hold on. I need to check something. Oh. Minister control should, overall minister control should be, oh wow, that should have been off. I was pretty sure I clicked on that. Why does it keep coming undone? Yeah, why is that coming undone? I want that. Oh, I remember now. I told you it's been a long time since I played, right? I have to click this and then I click apply to all to actually turn it on. All right, let's check it. Yeah, that stays on now. That's why those airplanes keep coming out. The minister is deploying the aircraft, and I don't want that. I don't want the ministers to do anything with the exception of the resource minister. Let's see what this message was. All right, so they offering to sell us rubber at well above market price. And we don't need it. Although he may be just trying to increase relationships with us. So I'll give it a go to start with. We'll see what happens. All right, so we have some mortars that are completed. Let's look at this. I'm just going to show the starting, maybe the starting month here, and then I'm just going to let it run while I'm not recording. I just want you to understand what I'm doing. We are still going to be extremely short of electricity for a while. So we've got 4 slots here that I was putting artillery in. Let's go back and build that artillery again. This right here is the medium fire artillery I was talking about. So we're going to let it run for a little bit. So I'm going to put it on continuous build and load those 4 units back in there. Let's make sure it takes. Yep, 22 and 22. All right, this is an incursion. That sound, that beep, beep, beep. Ah, war declared who? Iran declared war on Israel. What do you know? What do you know? All right, Iran has declared war on Israel. And the peaceful peoples of China do not support war, so we're going to condemn. And they say we're running out of money and they want to issue bonds. Never, 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 never. I'm not going to issue bonds. All right, here's that incursion I was telling you about. So Vladimir Putin's Air Force, let's look at that. Where was that at? Right here. For some reason, he ran into our territory. Let's negotiate. We have an embassy. Let's see if we can get criminal expedition. Nope. They don't like that at all. Not even a little bit. What about free trade? Nope, not even a little bit. Because you can see we hate each other right now. We barely got an embassy. So we're just going to let it go for now. I do have, for options, I have here attack neutral regions that incur. So if they do it within range of any of my anti-air units, we will attack them. There's another incursion. That's what that sound means. So what I may want to do, maybe they're look, here's a Russian plane inside our territory. What I may want to do is move some anti-aircraft units up here and see if we can dissuade them from moving into our territory. So let's look at what we got for anti-air. All right, I've got all this garbage stuff that I don't want. These are towed. I don't want any of this towed stuff. We're going to go all the way to the top of AA again, holding Shift and rotating the middle mouse button. All right, here's the beginning of AA. This is towed. It might be all we have is towed to start with. It's been so long since I played China. I'm just looking at the icon over here, and you can see they're towed. T-O-W-E-D, not T-O-A-D, not a frog. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any good AA units. And that is a shame. That is an absolute shame. Really? None at all? It's all towed? What are we doing here? This stuff is from 1949. Wow. Yeah, we're definitely going to get rid of all this stuff. All right, here we got some shoulder mounted. You know, just a dude out there with a shoulder mounted AA launcher. All right, here we go. These guys do 54 and 5 damage at 5 kilometers. This only does 72 at low. And when I look at the unit here, when I say low, you can see close air attack, medium, and high. So they have to be really close, meaning low to the ground, before you can even shoot them with these guys. Here's a guideline. This is going to be a little better. I recognize the name. All right, this is a HQ2J, which is a 74, a more modern unit, and it can shoot at close air, medium, and high. Let's take this guy out. Let's have him deploy. We have the guideline deploy, and we'll have this thing deploy. And then we'll look at the best of this towed artillery. This is 46 only at close range. Close range. We want something that does close and medium, ideally. It's not going to be these things right here. I went too far. I went into artillery. It looks like all of this maybe only does, yeah, close range. Let me click back on here. Here's a bunch more guidelines. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I might just take them all out. I'm not sure how many's there, but we might just take them all out because we do want to dissuade Russia from encroaching upon our airspace. Oh, there's quite a few here, so let's just get them all. Don't want to click too fast because you'll wind up going to that particular barracks where they're located, and you don't want to do that. You want to stay in the overall section for all reserves. I'll probably, once I've got this done, I'll probably cut this portion out and then just pick up again once I've got everything deployed and positioned. But the good news is we'll get these guys some experience also. We're going to take these 2Js, even though they're from 74. It's one of the better things we've got right now. And these things, yeah, that's, all right, let's see what we got. We want to highlight or grab everything and then go here, click on this, scroll up till we get the combat engineers, click on one of them, and we want to drop out, so we want to remove the highlighted units, which is the combat engineers. Boom. Oh, apparently they're different kinds. Remove highlighted type. No, units. Again, remove highlighted units. Remove highlight. This is not working as I thought it was going to work. They should all be the same type of unit, though. So I'm not sure why not. I don't really know what China starts with. If I remove types, that should do it. Was I clicking on individual unit? Yeah, I was. Because I only clicked on one unit. I understand what I'm doing now. All right, we want all of these guys, which as you can see is 25. 63 total. We want them to come up here somewhere. We'll just have them go here for now. Let's make sure these guys didn't move. They did not. Are you moving? Nope. Oh, I didn't mean to press W. I pressed W. Now it's the weather overlay. I don't ever want that, ever. Just come here for now. I may have clicked incorrectly. It's been so long, I might have left-clicked instead of right-clicked. So let's do this again. Go back to the combat engineers. Remove highlighted types. That gets rid of all the combat engineers. We've got 63 again. And I need to right-click right here. Yeah, there we go. Now they're all moving. Let's see what this message was. This is Singapore, and they want to sell us some metal ore. Again, whatever they want us to pay, we'll pay because we're hurting so bad for metal ore. We've got to get these completed so that we can get some people working and get some better income. All right. In fact, they just ended. They just completed. So now we're going to look at the uranium mines. now that this is going to start producing a lot of supply and we're going to get better supply levels here, we want to build all these uranium mines. So we definitely have the unemployed people to work these jobs. And I do have some technology research, and it's going to increase our, what's the word I'm looking for here? I clicked on the wrong thing. Unit build speed and output of consumer goods. And then there's an urban renewal is really the one I wanted to click on, if I can get it to click. Infrastructure rating up 4. That's really what I'm interested in, because the better we can get our infrastructure, the more supply gets through everybody. There's the Russians again. Territorial incursion. Where are they at this time? Right there. So they're testing our whole line. They started here. They went here, and they're here. So they're testing this whole area where they border us. That may mean they're going to eventually declare. I just seen a Russian. So we just want to get everybody up here. Once they're deployed, they'll start building up also their, they start in a low efficiency because they're just coming out of reserve, and their efficiency builds up slightly as they deploy. I just want to get everybody up here first. And we don't have a whole lot of supply over here, so there may not be much we can do, so I'm not going to send a whole lot in that direction. But I'm going to try to send this entire stack to right there. And we'll see if they can eventually make it. Now, we've got Hungary wanting to sell us some timber. And again, we are very short of timber, so whatever they want, we're going to we're going to pay for it. And then we're going to send these 7 right there. I'll put them in the town because that is... Speaking of which, I want to go to battle zone control, and I want this battle zone to garrison. Now, I can go down here and click on battle zones so I can see, and press S to turn off the supply so I can see who is who. So this entire battle zone I want, this entire battle zone I want to garrison, and this one I want to garrison. And we'll do this also. Because again, Russia borders us right there. So every place they border us, I want to get the garrisons up. And we'll even come here and get the garrisons in there. It's only one little village here. Now I'm going to turn off the battle zones because I don't like them. Alert level reduced. All right, unit completed. This is the artillery, but I do believe I put it on. I did not. Yeah, I did. The mortars are on, so we had some other stuff come out. Let's go back to the infantry. Build some more of these. And I'm going to put these on continuous. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then I think I'll build some more of these. 150. Yeah, we'll put these on continuous build, these air units, anti-air. Make sure that takes. You always want to make sure it takes because sometimes it doesn't. And then you'll wonder later why you don't have any units. Okay, these guys are set. And now we've got a little visibility on the border. We can see that there are some Russian units there. All right, we'll take 10 of these because this is better supply over here, and we'll put them right here. And then we'll see what happens. All right, tensions heightened again. What did we just do here? Product transfer missed. So it looks like Qatar doesn't have the stuff to send to us. Let's get rid of that. Iran is declared. Oh, by the way, I did want to click on pause on event. Okay. So Iran declared war on Oman. They declared war on Israel, and they declared war on Kuwait. So they're on a roll over here. All right, Germany wants to sell us some conventional missiles. $589, and they request six. You know, just Angela Merkel, just to get a little bit of status with them, I will accept. And Canada wants to sell us a lump sum of, well, harpoons. I absolutely want to buy those harpoons. If I can get that good American stuff. This early in the game when we just started. Okay, these guys are coming along nicely. Now, what I will do, all right, that's done. And what is this? 38 days. I'm going to move this whole stack to right there. Iran has declared war on Saudi Arabia. Man, they're just declaring war on everybody. All right, now what I want to do is I want to run over here and look at this. Commodities. Look at petro. Because we are very, very short on petroleum. That's another thing that we're going to have to look at. So let's look at where we have petroleum. Let's turn that off. Click on commodities and look at petroleum. There's a lot right here. There's a lot over here. All right, let's start with this. We're going to build all these petroleum plants up. But first, I'm just going to... Everything that I can build on, I'm going to build on. And I realize I said petroleum plants, but I mean oil wells. And keep in mind, the shades don't mean... Technically, it doesn't mean this produces more because it's darker. It just means you can put more oil wells. So I can put 3 there, but I can only put 2 here. So it does produce more, but only because I put more oil wells there. It doesn't mean that each individual oil well is producing more. No. But I want to make sure all of these are built up. At the very least, every one of them needs to be full of oil wells. And I'm trying to say oil properly, because I would just say oil. We still got a lot to go here. You notice we had 39 to start with, and now I've got 90 in construction. We're just going to do every bit of this, and then we're going to plop down supply depots to help spread supply. In this case, you think of supply, in this game, you think of supply as infrastructure. You know, parts for vehicles, maintaining the roads, getting rid of potholes, that type of thing. And that helps the resources move better. That's really what supply is here. We got a big military base here also that will help push out supply. All right, we've went from 39 oil wells to 158. And that should be everything here that I feel like. Now, what I'm going to do, again, is I think this is pushing out some decent supply, but it's got a long way to go. So I'm going to plop one right here. Oop, wrong one. I want build military and go all the way to the bottom to supply depots. I'm going to plop it here, though. And then we're going to build railroads because that helps transport supply. And by the way, supply helps everything, not just the oil. It will help every resource gathering facility here. All right, so that's everything. And then we'll let this run. It's going to cost a lot of money, but it'll be worth it in the long run because we're severely short on oil. We're only getting 1/4 the amount of oil we need. Because 2 done 4 is 8. So we've got to get that doubled. And this guy, by the way... All right, Oman is eliminated already. Iran is on a roll. Wow. That is not good. Let me turn this filter off, this petroleum commodity. All right, we've got here as the unit design is complete, and I like to set these to pause on event. And this was that carrier I had in. It's a light carrier. It only carries 2 because the China doesn't have access yet to actual carriers. And I want to go back to, I think it's funny they have Trump ideology available. All right, again, this is infrastructure, and it's only going to take 165 days at most. So I'm going to throw that in there. What have we got here? Unit completed, some mortars, but let's see if it... All right, we can throw some more. We've got mortars, air-to-air, and infantry. How many mortars are being... 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I want. I'm going to throw some more infantry in, because 2 air-to-air is fine for now, building on a recurring basis. So we'll throw these in. 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure it takes. It did. Aircraft are still going. It's got 19 days left, and the ship's got a lot of days left. We should be stocking up on missiles. And by the way, the missile I put in, the Sandbox is anti-ship missile, anti-naval. All right, we got a lot of these interior. All right, I'm going to move these guys to right here in between these two so they can help both of them. Every hex that touches these guys will be boosted and build. All right, Jamaica. Rubber. I'll buy the rubber from Jamaica. And we got another research breakthrough, which is digital social services. I want that to make sure that pauses also. And let's look at here what we got available to us. Consumer recycling. Population timber use down. This is only 197 days max, and we're using a lot of timber, so this will reduce our use by 15%. It will also reduce our use by consumer goods. So for now, early on, that'll be a good thing till we can get things up and running. All right, that means units are being built. United States has declared war on Cuba. All right, well, I guess we're gonna condemn that, of course, because we're the peaceful, loving people of China. We don't like war. We just want to live our lives. All right, Slovenia rubber. We'll buy it because we need rubber. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, what am I spending right now? We have a deficit of 2.8 billion, because that's 2,831 million, which is 2.8 billion. So we're not looking good right now, but we've got a lot of construction going on. We got to wait till this stuff gets completed. All right, those are done. And I think enough of this is done that I'm going to come up here now, and we're going to plop down on this thing. And eventually I will build 49 engineers, but right now defense is our priority as we build up. All right, they want to sell us timber. They want to sell us rubber. We'll take both of those. 5 unused Air Force. Yeah, we definitely want to take a look at that. All right, so we've got, by the way, when I started it, I put 7 flankers in there, but 2 of them didn't take. So let's just let that run one day, and then we'll put all 7 back in there to get it. I'm going to let it go another day to make sure everything's cleared. And then I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back in there. These guys are going strong. These guys are going strong. Let's make sure it took. Wait till the next day rolls over. All right, all 7 in there again. Saudi Arabia has declared. So you've now got Iran and Saudi attacking Israel. We're going to condemn just because we don't like war. And by the way, you notice that the Soviets stopped incurring into our airspace, right? All right, that's those 2 flankers we just looking at. All right, now we've got Venezuela and Germany. They want to give us rubber, and they want to give us conventional missiles. I'll buy them. Why not? We're increasing our standing with them. That was a failure. I think the Germans, that was the German missile failure. I think I clicked on it too fast. All right, Iran has declared war on, Pakistan has declared war on Iran. We're going to condemn. We're going to condemn all warfare. I think what happened is Germany was trying to sell us missiles, and they wound up not having the missiles. They either used them or sold them to somebody else. All right, this is Lebanon. They want to sell us rubber, maybe, or they want to buy rubber. I didn't really look at it. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this and not have just thousands and thousands of hours of footage. But I do, like I said, I do want to show maybe this beginning sequence so you can see what I'm doing. The goal, the immediate goal, is to get our unemployment. You can see right now it's 12.6, so our unemployment is going up, and that's because our people are multiplying as we start. Now, I haven't fiddled with this at all yet. I will change this stuff around in a bit, the taxes and social spending. One thing I do want to do is just turn all of this off. Make sure that's all the way off. And I'm going to turn... Our expenses are a lot right now. We're going to leave it as is for now, because remember, it doesn't matter about whether the people like us or not. We're a communist country. They can't do anything about it. As long as the military likes me, that's all that matters. All right, that helo is finished, which is good. Let's look at what we got here. Pollution levels, don't care right now. Electrical demand, -2. Let's look at medical, because we want to help our people. And if there's anything that helps directly, we will. Let's look at technology. Upgraded coal generation. Anything that increases our power right now would be good. And petrol production. Let's look at our electricity and see what the majority of our plants are. Let's see if it's coal. All right, we got 360 coal. And we have only 45 petrol. And we got 8 nuclear right now. And 111 hydro. All right, so coal right now is the majority. Let's look at this again. Upgraded coal generation. This is going to, our 360 coal power plants will increase production by 15%. And that's going to take only 196 days max. By the way, I do have research set on the maximum amount of efficiency and a maximum project development. So we're spending as much money as we possibly can. Syria declared war on Iran. We're going to condemn. We're going to condemn all war for now. All right, this supply depot finally completed, and you can double-click that, and it'll take you to exactly where it was if you wasn't sure where that was at. And since this is not touching anything over here, I'm going to move these guys right here in the middle so that now it's touching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oil complexes to build out. Who was that? Cuba just eliminated. So the USA just took out Cuba. Fair enough. What do we got here? Iceland. I'm sorry, Iceland. I know that's Ireland. Ireland and Costa Rica. They want to buy rubber from us, and they want to buy rubber from us. I'm just going to do it just to make friends. All right, now we've got these completed, but these are land units. They should just automatically replenish. Yep, there they are. There's 2 right there. Air's good. Everything's still good. What are you? You're merchant marine. No. Where is a port? Come over here to this port. I don't know what you got in you. Let's look. Oh, it's an air-to-air unit. Some reason you loaded onto... All right, now you're going all the way up there. That's fine. That's fine. What have we got here? All right, these 4 have almost 5 more days. Syria has declared war on Israel. We're going to condemn. Let's look at our petroleum. All right, 277. Very shortly here, we should be increasing. As all these come online, now that these are online, we're going to move this guy to right here so we can touch all of these. And we'll let them sit there for a bit. The goal is to build up your country as much as you can, as early as you can. And that's why I'm looking at this. We want all of our people employed. And right now, unemployment is going up. We don't want that. All right, so by building places for them to work, you notice first I looked at what we were short of, right? Now, just a moment ago, we were at 277. Now we're up to 42. So that's a huge increase already, and we still got a lot more to go. In fact, we're going to come right here. We're going to help these build up. But the goal is once we get all these facilities built, these people that are unemployed can go into those jobs, and then that increases our tax revenue. among other things. It makes them happier also. Again, doesn't matter, but if they're happy, they're more constructive, productive, I should say. All right, look at that. That was a lot that just came online there. And let's see what we got here. Diplomatic offer from Swaziland, which is African country. We'll take it. Units completed. Mortars again. It says we got 13, but I'm sure they're just going to go right back. Yep, we're good. Everything is still good. Domestic approvals on a negative trend. Nothing I can do about that. We're not going to increase the bonds. Nope. We'll just run out of money. Cuba's gone. Nothing we can do about that. All right, these guys are done. By the way, I see these factories right here that are rubber, synthetic rubber. All right, all of these are done. Except that one, and it'll be done before we can get up there. Look, let's go here. Right there. See, they just completed. All right, remember we were at 2.7 on petroleum. Let's see what we're at now. We're at 13. All right, we're going to wait a moment and let it go around. So what happened was we now have 13 available, and the minister who I'm allowing to run things has moved it down to just above what we need. We need 8,156, and he set it to 8,160. The dark blue means this is what we're producing. The light blue means we can still produce that much more. That's our total capacity. And this orange or red, depending on your monitor, is what we're actually using. This is our stockpile because he was buying fuel as needed, petroleum as needed, but now we're self-sufficient. Notice it says self-sufficient. We don't need any now. All right, so this is good. Now, we were at 12.8 on unemployed. Let's look at what we are now. 12.9, still going up. It'll take a while. Generally, 6 months. This is unlike other games where as soon as you do something, you can immediately see an effect. In most cases, you want to let the game run for maybe 6 months before you see some of the changes you're going to make. Bahrain wants to buy rubber from us. Now, let's look at this. So now we have enough petroleum. Let's look at our uranium. We are making enough uranium. So let's look at our other shortages. I think we had huge shortages in wood and metal ore. We've got to get those up before we address this, though, because every time we build factories here, we increase our need for electricity. Now, this right here is our saving grace. We can sell the heck out of this because we're building twice as much as we need. And as far as military goods, because we're not using military goods for much of anything except production right now, and everybody is essentially, with the exception of the air-to-air, they are reserved, so they're not using a lot of military production. Now, I do want to build, let's look for metal ore. Let's press S and turn off the overlay and look for metal ore. Oh, we got a lot of it right here where we just built the supply depot. So we don't have to build another supply depot. We can just build in right here because we have already filled in all the uranium slots. So these places we can just fill right in. So let's go to ore and let's fill in these guys. And we can build right on uranium slots as long as you have, there's 6 slots there. I'm only using 2, so I can build 2 more uranium or metal ore, which I just did. And we're well short. We only make a 9 and we need 125. So I'm just going to fill all of this out. And I'll press S again so you can see how heavy the supply is now. Before it was very, very light, but this and the railroads are really moving it out nicely. I'm just going to fill in all of these. We had 7, now we've got 56. So if we get 70, that'll be potentially 10 times, well, it will be 10 times the amount, but we may want to go more than that. Yep, we're just going to keep going. We've got a whole lot of unemployed people. And in just a short while, I'm going to be scrapping a lot of facilities, which means we're going to lose a lot more jobs. So I want to get these jobs up and running first. And I'm going to go back through this video and I'm going to edit the heck out of it as much as I possibly can to get it as short as I possibly can because I didn't even start a timer. So I'm just going to be running this. All right, so that's 105. We're going from 7 to 105. And we're also going to bring these guys down to go right here. All right, South Korea declared war on North Korea. We're going to condemn because we are the peaceful, loving people of China. All right, anti-personnel munitions. Very good. Let's see what else we can throw in. I think we've got... I'm not going to do this at all because I'm going to be getting rid of all petrol power plants. Let's look at science. High bandwidth infrastructure. Plus our resource efficiency goes up 5. Is that 5%? Yeah, 5%. So we can research better. And I am going to build more research centers. We only started with 9. Let's look at this. Modern high-speed trains is the way to go right now because that will lead to better increases in infrastructure still. So we're going to go with modern high-speed trains. And now that we've got our oil under control, our petroleum situation under control. All right, we just had some ships completed, as you can see. Let's see what that was. Oh, that might have been... Oh, yeah, there's land production there. Okay, disregard, that was land production. There's still 22. We're good. We're still good to go. All right, there's 2 ships that are done. It just needed to go one day. So right there and right there. What? It looks like we got that transport ship. We got two of these built. So I'm going to throw 2 more back in there. And they'll build here and here, which is deep within our territory, so I don't have to worry about them when I deploy them being fired upon. All right, we're getting this. Once we get this up and running, I'm going to build some more research centers. Panama wants to buy rubber from us. Now, we are short on rubber. No, we're not. We're producing excess rubber, so that's good. That's going to help us stay afloat. Let's look at this. What are we spending money on now? Metal, electric, and timber. All right, so we've gotten the petroleum under control. We're just about to get a much better situation. Oh, South Korea just declared war on us. Well, obviously, I'm going to condemn that. I'm not going to support it. I'm also going to right-click on this and go to battle zone control, and we're going to set out. We've already done this here with Russia. With this, I'm just going to put my garrisons out. Ooh, that is loud. Let me turn that down. Options, sound, battle sounds is what I want. Turn that way down, like here. Let's go back and return to game. All right, here's the thing. South Korea is attacking us. Let's see what kind of naval assets I have here. I want subs is what I'm looking for. Not a single submarine here. Crap load of patrol vessels, but no subs. Where else do I have subs? Maybe here? Yep, there's some subs. We want to deploy every sub I have. Because right now we're just going to fight defensively. All right, there's more. I can only deploy 10 in a hex at a time. So you got to wait till they clear out. And then you can get the rest of them. Ah, scrap. Crap. I don't want deployed, I want reserve. There we go. Oh, there went South Korea. I mean, North Korea just fell. All right, let's get some more of these guys. I want every submarine I own out. I don't care their age or their status. They have to be deployed. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to slow the time down because we are actively at war. And where else can I bring? Let's get these guys. Do I have any other? These guys automatically deployed because the Koreans got too close, so they will automatically deploy out of here. And we're going to bring these subs out also. All right, now our guys are starting to take them out. But I want you to come back here in supply. Notice he's not in supply right now. So come back into supply so you can continue firing. Are these... No, these are not... They're not trying to land troops. These are just regular naval ships. But we've got a lot right here, so we're going to take them all out. We will suffer losses, but that's fine. It means I don't have to go through and get rid of all the ships that I didn't want. Again, they want to buy rubber. Unit lost, unit lost, unit lost. Garrison, garrison. Destroyers. Where's this at? Yeah, it's fine. Nothing I can do about it anyway. Now that we've got these subs out, come down here, please. And you guys, come right here. All right, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on military. And I'm going to raise salaries to max and raise training to max. Maintenance and training. All right, we got our subs deployed here. I only want the submarines. There's 10 of them right here, but I only want 7 because you only put 7 in a hex. But you can put 7 subs and 7 surface vessels. So we're going to move the subs right there. All right, now push out. Let's regain our territory there so that supply will fill in. All right, where's this combat going on that I can hear? It sounds like land combat. You used to be able to push tab and it would take you. There you go. So I push tab and this Defender helicopter, which incidentally is an American helicopter. Even though it says multiple, is attacking here, and he's going to lose. He can't defeat those garrisons. However, this Patton tank and these K1A1s could make trouble for us. So what I'm going to do, again, I just want to hold the line for now. So I'm going to pull out artillery. Let me scroll all the way. Again, pressing shift makes it scroll faster. We want to go down to Arty. There we go. And we're going to deploy all this Arty. Regardless of its stats, we just need some artillery on the line. Because I haven't built a whole lot of good. But what I will do is I'll go here. I'll click on this. I am building some Arty right here. And I'm going to click on auto deploy so that they will, once they're built, they will automatically come out and I can see them on the map. And that will remind me to move them over here, to know that they are completed and ready to go. So let's go back to... I want to get out of that and go back to here. Go back to reserve units and bring out the rest of this Arty. What have I got out already? Let's take this, and we want to remove the air-to-air. So remove that highlighted class, all of air-to-air we don't want. And we want to remove this highlighted class, which is naval. And that should just leave me with 14 howitzers. Let's move them over here to right there. Get them moving, and then I'll move some more out. Looks like we got control. Let's move here. I think we've got rid of their navy that was incurring up in there. All right, you subs come forward. This is Japan. Are we at war with Japan also? No, not yet. All right, come on, subs. They're very slow-moving subs. And we still have more subs in here. So let's bring them out. Romeos, they're old Russian subs. Kilos, they're all old Russian subs. Let's get them deployed. You come over here. We're going to cut this guy off. All right, there's the subs doing their thing. And there's these guys doing their thing. And we want to come over here and get supply going through here again. All right, come on, subs, do your thing. These Mings are not the best sub. That's why I'm building new subs, but they're good for what we need right now. We're going to have to get some artillery here soon. All right, they're about ready. I think I want to check our Air Force's status. We don't have a lot. You can see we only got 196, and these are all helos right here. We don't want any helos. I don't want any helos. I'm looking for bombers. Our multi-roll. Here's some multi-rolls. These naval flankers, what can they do? They can only do 6 damage. We don't want that. That would be a waste of time. What about these flankers? They can only do 6. Yep. Let's keep looking for bombers. There we go. Actual bombers. What can they do? They can do 120. All right. Let's pull these bad boys out. There's 3 of them. Don't know where they're at, though. So let's just click on this and see about planes. There's one of them. So we can click that one plane. Click here and add highlighted classes. Boom. And that'll grab all the bombers. There's 3 of them. Where is an airport? There's an air. We'll have them go to that airfield first, since I don't see a base close. And there's only 3, so that's not a whole lot. But we just need to get this started. Let's see what these messages are here. All right, Cutter wants to sell us metal ore. Do we still need? Notice how much we've improved our standing. That's not Cutter. Oh, it's gone. Wait till it comes up. Here we go. See, now that they really like us much better because we're buying, we're spending money with them, we're trading with them. Let's look at this. We're still good on everything. You have to be able to multitask. And I'm intentionally doing things a little slower than I normally would. Let's look. Add highlighted types. So that, okay, these are already moving. All right, these are the 13, the ones that are not moving. We want to go ahead and bring them over here. We'll go ahead and set them to go. All right, these subs need to come a little closer here. There you go. These subs have very short firing distance, only 15, so they have to be in the next hex. But these guys are doing well because they have several, a huge... Let's look at this. For example, this Luda. 100 kilometers range against subs, and this Jingha. I'm going to butcher these names, just be aware. It's only 7. So this Luda is doing really well. And by the way, when you click on that, you can see it's the only one that is kind of grayed out, meaning it's the one firing, even though there's a red hex around all of these. Okay, all of these are firing. These are old Russians. 100. The ones that are gray are the ones that are firing. All right, we'll just let that play out for a while as we try to get some defense up here. The good news is there's nothing... If we lose this area, it's not a big deal, and we've got this river to fall back on. All right, these guys, let's move them down here because we want to get this metal up. What are we up to? We're up to 33. Petroleum still looks good. We're have the capability to produce more than we need at the moment. We're going to be going down on electricity, of course, but that's okay. We got to get this basic ingredients. All right, so I need another subunit down here. We'll take you guys, and I want you right here for now. All right, where is that at? Let's press tab. Okay, it's here. Who just... Israel's gone. Israel was eliminated. Let's see who got the land. It looks like Syria and Lebanon. No, Lebanon was not at war with them. So Syria got all of Israel. That's funny, when it was Iran that really initially started. But, okay, so Syria owns all of Israel now. All right. We'll take that. We'll click OK. I've got to get these subs down here. They're very slow moving, and I do have it on normal. I'm going to actually move it up to fast. And then I'm going to look for airplanes. We've got those bombers over here at this airport, but there's only 3 of them. I'm going to set them to 4. And I was going to bring them here, but that took care of itself. Let's look what we've got over here. I'm looking for AA units. I don't see any AA units. Where is an airfield? All right, go here. Let's look at the rest of our aircraft, bomber-wise. I'm going to scroll. There's some more. These are old Russian Badgers. We're going to deploy them. I don't know if it'd be more appropriate to say these are old Soviet Badgers. And then we got a backfire. We've got one backfire. Again, Soviet. All right, let's see if we can find them bad boys. All right, there's the Badgers. We will highlight and add types. No, we'll add classes, which should add all the bombers. And how many? It's 11. It's only 11 bombers, all right? You come over, where was that airfield at over here somewhere? Oh, there's a base right there. Go there for now. All right, they're destroying our subs. So let's move their subs. Move this guy forward. Move this guy forward. And I need some, do I have any multis that... it's only 16. It may be better than nothing. These are Thunder Dragons. What do? You do 28, but there's only one of you. What does the regular... You do 18. How many do I have of you? I'm building these. These are naval flankers. What do? You do 18 at 2, and you do 18 at 4. I think for now I'd rather use these old naval flankers. Let's find out where 1 is at. Then we can deploy them all. 2, 3, 4. And then I can click this guy and add highlighted types. Not in view, just add highlighted types. So there's the 4 of them. I'm going to put these on 3. And I want them to come down here. There's a military base here somewhere. I know there is. Where's it at? There it is, right there. That's too far away. All right, come here. We'll come to this regular airfield because we're going to take these guys out. All right, let's look at what we got over here. These are the 4. And so far, our garrisons are holding, but I'm worried about this group right here. So let's see if we can do some damage right here. Let's come down here and take this out. Now, these are... Let's see what kind of damage they're doing. They're doing 90. So they're going to go back. Let's grab our 3s and try to take this Korean ship out. There we go. Come on. We're doing some damage to it. It's going to get away, though. We're going to sink it. All right, it's gone. Let's come back here to this airfield, this air base, and get them repairing because they did take damage. So let's have them repair. And then we'll see what else is going on here. All right, these were our subs that are coming through here. They've ran across a Korean ship. So we're going to go down there. Who's sending spies? Russia's sending spies. We lost Garrison, but both at Tumen. Where's Tumen? Right here. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. Don't want to renew any bonds. We're just going to run out of money. Both North Korea and Israel's gone. We already know that. And we're losing garrisons left and right. Lost subs here, Ming subs. And there's something there that we can't see that's shooting us. So it's a Korean sub that's got a much better stealth rating than what we have. Let's look at these guys. Russia declared war on South Korea. Okay, I'm going to condemn. All right, we're going to come down here and see if we can do some more damage here. Because they're slowly but surely going to overwhelm us here. I'm getting these... Finally getting our artillery into play. I'm going to move the artillery right here in between these two towns. to get them closer to the battle. Oh, he got hit. I didn't realize they just took this town. So we're definitely screwed. But now it's time to look at bringing out some infantry. Oh, we got more combat engineers that are in here. 1, 2, let's find this guy. 3. And we want to grab you 3 and move you over with these guys so that I'll know where to find you in the future. All right, now looking at the infantry we have available, I don't want any of this militia. This is useless. I may want to move this airborne up. Let's see what their stats are, the Chinese airborne. They're from 1962, so not very good. Let's see what else we have available. I want to bring up mechanized first. What are we building? And then we'll start with that. We're building the ZBL-09. See if we can find some of them. Right here. All right, let's bring these guys into the fray. Also, let's make sure that all of this stuff is deploying automatically once it's built. Everything. That way I can see it on the map and just drag it as required. Is that everything? Yes. All right. Plane's still looking good. Naval's still... one day on these subs. That'll be good because these subs are much better than what we currently have. Diplomatic from Malawi, which is in Africa. They want to buy consumer goods from us. And we do produce more consumer goods than we need. So that's great. We're losing a lot our land over here, which is expected. We've lost everything, so come back here. Everybody come back behind this town. You guys stop right there. Let's see if we can get these bombers in here again, just to make some sort of effort. All right, so we've got him to leave for repairs. Let's have them rearm and refuel. They're ready to go again. Let's see if we can make any dent right here. Okay, we're just going to run the heck out of these bombers. As soon as they get back to 100%, we're going to go. Because right now, they don't have any air power here. So we're going to damage them and force them to go back to the depot for repairs. As much as we can. Now this is taking a lot of military goods. Let's see what our military goods usage is. I've just decided to look at this while we're here because we're producing a whole lot of this, and we're selling a lot of it. All right, military goods. We have the capability to produce still much more than we're using, so we're good in that aspect. Let's see if we can take this guy out. Come on, we want to take him all the way out. We didn't have the firepower to take him all the way out. Let's go back and look at these guys. 2 of them are still being... Do I have any more bombers? 2 of them are still being repaired. Nope, that's it. We go right from multi... And these multi-rolls only do 16. I may have to use them against the Navy. Stop doing that. These are all interceptors. Yeah, I don't have any bombers really to stop pressing that key. All right, so this is South Korea who's at war with Russia, and that may be, yep. Russia is probably going to try to push in, which is good. That will help divert their forces, the Korean forces, from us. All right, we've got these Shangs. I don't know where they came out of, but let's look at this. And I'm going to go straight back into the Shangs because we've got to secure our coastline. And I'm going to put them on continuous build. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's see if we can figure out where they came out at. Naval Reserve, looking for subs. Kilos Shang. All right, where are you at, buddy? Right there. That's exactly where we want him. Let's come out. Because these are much better subs. We've already secured our territorial waters. There's only one. You know what? Let's take these 3 up here. Is there an airport right here? Yeah, go to that airfield. Let's see if we can overfly this and see what's there. Oh, there's still 2 that are in repair. Oh, he just came out of the command here. All right, looks like the Russians are taking some of the pressure off us. Let's fly over this and see what's here. Ah, we got rid of that. That's good. So you can come back down here to this airbase. All right, it looks like see, the key is don't panic. Even if you have to give up land, it's fine because you're going to establish a defensive line, and giving up land slows them down and injures their troops, their units, so it's fine. Just don't panic. Malawi again, consumer goods. Yes, we will sell you consumer goods. By the way, let's look at what we're doing here with... All right, so let's have you guys come down here, and then you 3, gather up, please. And you come down here so we can get as much touched as possible. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and build... do I want to? You know what? I'm going to build research. Let's build them deep in the interior. By the way, for this building, it doesn't matter what supply is, so you can build it anywhere you want to. I'm going to build them deep in the interior where there's very low supply and it's hard to get to any enemies, so we'll build... you can't build if there's no supply at all, so you got to find something that's really remote but still has supply. So we're going to build 6 right here. And then 6 more right here. And we're just going to let them build slowly because those are secondary. It's more important we get our resources flowing. And you guys are all 4 out and ready to go. Let's see what we got over here. That's 4 and 3, a total of 7. So I want you guys to come over. Well, let's look at this. I haven't messed with these badgers yet. So we just want to click on air. There are 11 here, but I only want, what are these this one backfire? Yeah, I only want 7 because it's 7 per hex or airfield. 6, 7. And then we're going to make these number 2. All right. You come to this airfield. We will now have you guys pull back and go here. Okay, now come here and see what we can do. Very good. We got both of them to leave. Let's rearm. I'm going to turn this back down to regular normal. Once they're up to... excuse me. What? Once they're back... Wow, I can't breathe at the moment. Hold on. It's not a medical thing. I just can't. My throat constricted for some reason. All right. They're back up to 100%, so now we're going to hit them again. We're going to take out this tank, this K1A1, or at least force it to retreat. Go for repairs. Again, come on. We got to get into this guy. We'll get him again. 92 is going to, 96 is going to have to be enough. That was a good hit, so he's retreated. Now, an airbase, they would rearm faster on an airbase, but the airbase is much further behind, so I'm going to leave them, keep them right here. All right, let's see what we can do against this one. This is a K2 Black Panther. All right, he's already retreating, so we'll see if we can maximize the damage. All right, this is an AA unit. We got to be careful. No, that's not. That's an anti-tank gun, so that's fine. We can take it out. We can take this guy out. This is a Ranger. Come on, 100, 100. Come on, come on, come on. All right, take him out. As soon as he enters this hex, there you go. Take this guy out. Very good. All right, head back. The goal here is to just hold the line, damage them as much as we can do. I don't want you guys to do that anymore. I want you to go here. And you guys to go here. You guys go here. All right, here's another one we can hit hard. You just want to hit them as hard as you can. Oh, they already destroyed him. The garrison did their job. And the Russians are really doing a good job of distracting them. Not on purpose, mind you. They're not intentionally helping me. But that's the way it's working out. All right, what have we got down here? These are subs, so I cannot hit them from the air. All right, where's the rest of my Shangs at? Up, up, up. Kilo, 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 kilo. Song. Shang, there we go. Where are you at? You're right there. So let me know where it's at and then go back to the master pool and pull these all out. And then I want to click on this one. Wait till it has fully deployed. I am going to speed up a little bit. Just go back to fast. It can take quite a while for them to deploy, depending on the terrain they're in. Now, I'm going to assume all the rest of them are deployed, so I'm going to add highlighted types. That gives me 6 Shangs, and I want all 6 of them. Where are you coming from? Right there? Okay. I want you all 6 to go right here for now. Malawi again. I will give them what they want. Who's the spy? Still Russia. And what does this say? Unit lost. It's a garrison, which again, we expect to lose all these garrisons. But we want to keep it topped off. Keep this battle zone topped up. And let's look at this. We've got new units coming off the assembly lines, which is exactly what we want. Remember, you got to remember, when you're playing with a large nation, you can afford to give territory for time. I don't want that there. That's not doing anything, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. You trade territory for time. I also want to turn off this metal ore. How are we doing here? All right, you guys can come up right there, and you 2 can run down there. Or you 3. What are you? You're a mortar. Let's add highlighted types. That's 4 of those. Those are those new mortars that I've built. So I want you to go there for now. Now we're going to see about what's the range on you. You are 24. Okay, so all of you come over right there. And you are 24 also. So all of you come over right there. And we're going to set up behind that town because the garrison is doing a good job at the moment. You guys are all repaired and ready to go. Let's see if we can come down. Next time, let's come here. And then come down. All right, now we can see what's going on. And by the way, let's slow this back down and bring you back here. Now that we see some... Hold on, is that a Russian plane? No, that's North Korean, I think. Hold on. Not North Korean. North Korean is gone. Which hex is it in? It's not in that one. Is it in this one? Yeah. Okay, that is a AN-225 Cossack, the largest. Look at that cargo capacity, 3,000. That is a Russian plane, so I'm not worried about it. I was going to bring some fighters over, but since it's Russian, we don't have to worry about it. I haven't seen any South Korean fighters at all yet, or planes in general. Where is that fighting? Pressing tab takes me to the last... All right, you guys are done, so let's go up here. And let's take you up. Okay, you're going there. You're going to hit all these. Let's go there. What are we looking like now for... All right. Right now, we're making more than we need already. Now, let's look at our... It was 12.9 last time I looked. Now it's at 30. Russia has declared war on China. We're going to condemn, obviously. I knew that was just a matter of time because they kept probing our defenses here. But that's okay. This is a very underdeveloped area, and supply is not that great, and it will help them also. Plus, South Korea is going to really keep them occupied here. In fact, let's look and see if we can make peace. Nope, they're not interested. Let's see what they say about it, though. Yep, look there. Malawi is really starting to like us because we're doing a lot of trades with them. Research centers are still coming along nicely. I want to get rid of that so I can see what the Russians say. It may or may not come back. Let me speed it up again. Just too fast. Okay, you guys are slowly getting there. Was that my guys that just shot something? Yeah, Russia just declared war on us, so they may have been the air. I'm not sure who's firing. Yeah, it's my AA units, I think, firing at something right here. All right, now that you're here, let's look at what I have deployed as far as ground forces. All right, these are all combat engineers, howitzers. All right, I need to bring out some... Where is that taking place? Pressing tab takes me here. This is where the combat's taking place. All right, these guys are in trouble, so we're going to bring you over here. I didn't expect that. They will probably be destroyed, but that's okay. In fact, I was just getting ready to bring some infantry over here, mechanized infantry preferably. And we want you to go to this base also. And let's bring these Badgers in. See what we got going here. Right here. Okay. Head back to this base. Refuel. Rearm. There's 7 of them. We're at 100. Let's do it again. Right here. Very good. Forcing him to retreat. That was in a U.S. LAV. We're going to slow it down again because the planes are moving awfully fast. Let's go here and have you withdraw from that hex. This is a anti-tank unit. Just want to make sure it wasn't air unit. All right, now they're shooting at us, so we want to head back. And I want to take my flankers to the base so they can repair, and I'll bring the rest of these guys down here. Flankers, Badgers. Let's repair. Now I'm going to make all of these one unit. Right now they are number 3 and number 4. So we're going to make them all number 4. And then we're going to make these, which are 2. We're now going to make them number 3. All right. So we've got 7 of you guys here and 7 of you guys, 6 of you guys, because one's in reserve or in repair. Now we want you to pull back. And it's time to bring out, have we had any? Yes. We got some interceptors. We got some flankers. Let's look at these multi-rolls. These Jians. Jian, maybe. 30 and 37 at 60. These interceptors are 46 and 52 at 80. So for now, they have an air defense of 34. These guys have an air defense of 39. These are 30. They're both 30 as far as stealthiness. How many of these do we have? We only got 6. We've got 18 of these. So I tell you what we'll do. I'm going to throw these GNs in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I do want them to deploy as soon as they're ready. All right, and in the meantime, we're going to grab these interceptors. They have a range of 3,000. Let's look for, we don't want deployed. We want reserve. All right. We don't want these Xingyangs because they're garbage. We don't want we don't want any of these. These are all from the 50s and 60s. There's the flankers. That's what we want. Let's find one right there. Okay, and then go back to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then highlight them. Select all. Oop, just the aircraft. Select add highlighted types. And there's our 7 flankers. We want them to be number 1. And we're going to fly them. I'm only doing 7 because that's all you can fit on an airfield comfortably. Where is an airfield they can go to rally? Right there. Let's get them in there. I'm going to get these helicopters. All right, who sent us a message? It looks like Malawi, and we have no desire for peace with your government. So, any offers to end hostilities are a waste of time. Thank you, Putin. And Malawi, we will accept. They're slowly but sure. They're now up to 3 pips with us. We lost that howitzer, which we expect. Let's get you out of here also. And let's bring back in. Are you all? No. Yeah, did we lose one? There's only 6 there now. I thought I had 7. Is there one in repairs? Yeah, there's a Badger in repairs. Okay, is he? No, he's got a ways to go yet. All right, let's get number 4 then. Come down here, number 4. Squadron 4. Let's see if we can slow this guy up before he gets into our retreating artillery. He's trying to come behind and cut off these units, or these forces, this city, so they're reduce the amount of supply they have. Come on, we need that 7th Badger. You guys are back at 100. Let's go hit them again. There comes the Russians in. We'll hit them also if we can. There we go. Go back and rearm and refuel. Remember, these don't do a whole lot of damage because these are naval flankers in among these bombers. It's the best we can do at the moment. Guys, you keep coming back. Oh, that Badger's taking his time, isn't he? All right, you guys come down here and see if we can take him out. There we go. These Koreans are massing down here, and that's not good. We got to do as much damage as we can. All right, come back, come back, come back. All right, you guys come all the way back here, all the way back here. We want you guys in the front to pull back behind that town. And back to what I was doing. All right, I want to pull out some infantry units so that we can set a defensive line in front of these guys. And I wanted the ZB-09s. So let's find the first one in the group right there. Let's find out where he's at. He's here. Let's go back to the main group and deploy all of these. That's 40 so far. All right, the transport is done. Let's throw in warfare now, since we're actively engaged in combat. We want depleted uranium munitions, because that increases our ground attack values by 2, and it's only 110 days maximum. We'll throw that in there. Then I'll go right back to deploying these guys. Since I paused, we got one that's waiting. All right, there we go. Gotta give them time to come out of the depots. If there's more than 7 or 10 at a time. Where are you at? Right here. Yep. Get you guys out of there. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to go straight in and find the barracks. And I'm going to set a rally of right here so that they get out of that depot and get out of the way. And we don't have that problem in the future. And that looks like that was, hold on, that was all of them in that particular location. There's possibly more. Yep, there is a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they're all deployed. We want to click on one, select add highlighted type. So there's 66 only. Let's have everybody go right here for now. We're going to lose this town without doubt. Again, we got this river if we need to fall back behind. Here and here. Push come to shove. We got this one up here and this one right here. But really, this one right here is going to be the main barrier to South Korea. All of this stuff is incidental. It doesn't really matter if we lose it. Get you back behind the line there. Get you back over here. You come right there. You right there. I'm going to see if I can... These guys... Do we have 7 yet? Yep. All right, you're number 3. Okay. Let's see if we can hit this guy. I don't know if we can get that deep because we got to go through their territory right here. But we're going to try to hit this guy. These guys. And help him out a little bit. The more we can damage, the more they have to pull back and recover, the better off we are. All right, let's get out of here before they bring some aircraft. And we have to repair again. We want to keep it repaired as much as we can every time we land, unless we're really in dire straits. But for right now, we can afford to do that. Like these naval flankers. I didn't repair them because they cannot repair here. Where's that at? Let me press tab. It takes us here. Okay, so Russia is attacking from here now. Is there an air base anywhere in this area that I can get to? Nope. And if I'm not certain, I can just click on this. And there. See that highlights with purple? Because I can't see it. It's in the town. So let's bring you guys here to this airfield. Malawi, we're going to sell to them. We lost a garrison again, which, again, is expected. All right. They gave up. That's a long way for them to go. Let's see about up here. All right, you should be taking out these guidelines here. Should be just on the verge of taking out. What is your range? Your range is only 43. What about you? Your range is 43. All right. So each hex is 16. So 16 is 16 is 32. If that guy comes into this hex, we should be able to hit him. But here is some enemy. Let's bring these fighters. Oh, I bring the fighters here. You guys come back to this base. I'll go ahead and put you in repair. All right. Now, let's bring these fighters up here. See if they can make it. I don't know if they have the legs or the range. 3,000, they may make it. Just need them to scare this guy off because he's supplying supply. There he goes. All right, come back down here. He's supplying these units. That's why they're able to move down here. Now, this is interesting. This is Kazakhstan. Who are they at war with? Because this is a Kazakhstan unit, and this is you notice I knew that before I looked at it because I know what their flag is. Let's see who they're at war with. They're friendly to us. They have no enemies. Okay, well, that's good. I don't have to worry about them at the moment because they're max friendliness with us. All right, see, that's why I got my planes out of there. Because immediately, when I broke their territory, they immediately sent a crap load of aircraft. And I know I can't match them in aircraft at this time. So far, the AA is holding out because they're embedded in that city. They're in that city. I don't know how I'm gonna chop this up and make it shorter because every minute there's something happening that is important. I used to do this in AAR fashion. In other words, I did it via stories and text. So it was much easier. You wouldn't taking up all this, video space. We don't have a lot of supply right here, so it takes them a while to resupply. How are you guys doing? You're still good. You didn't take any damage. You are still repairing that one Badger, and you are still repairing the naval flankers. All right, the good news is it's kind of slacked off here for the moment, but I need you back. I need you back here. And I need this helicopter to come closer so these guys can hammer him. I may need to bring these flankers back. Yeah, we're going to lose this. By the way, I never started the timer. I have no idea how long I've played because I'll just make this video 2 hours. All right, looks like all of these metal ore are done. So we should be plenty of metal ore. What else are we short on besides food? Food is going to be an issue always. We're always going to be short on food. But food and timber are usually easy to get off the world market. It's these other things that I'm really worried about. I think we're almost at the point where we need to start building some electrical power. But right now we're still spending more money on timber than we are electric. But not by much. We got plenty of coal. Plenty of uranium at the moment. Okay, let's build some industry goods factories. Now, since I've got a supply depot, 6 supply depots right here, let's look at commodities again. So we got a lot of food here. No rubber. We got a little bit of timber. No petroleum. We got some coal, which we don't need. Although I could swap it out. Okay, so let's look at timber. We've got a little bit of timber. Where do we have? Here's good timber there. And good timber here. But again, I only want to build timber in high supply areas. I only want to build things in high supply areas in general. Let's see if this Malawi, yep, they want some more consumer goods, so we'll sell it to them. And I think, yeah, they made it up here. There is 61 of them. Are they all? Yep. All right, let's come over here to right here. That way we're in a position to create a blocking force based on where they're at. We will be reactive for now instead of proactive because we're still trying to build up our forces. This guy is not worth, he's a Ming sub from 1970. He's not worth trying to repair. We'll just leave him as he is. This Romeo also is from 57, not worth trying. Turkey declared war on Iran. Okay. I'm just going to click, let me get out of this. I'm just going to click OK on that. Who else here? What are you? This Luda. Now, the Luda is a little better, so I'm going to send him into repair because he's really good at anti-sub. And this Luda is going to go in for repairs. By the way, I want to set this port to send the ships out here. We don't want them gathering up right there. So once the ship goes in and repairs or when they deploy, you want to move them out of the way. I want to move this Romeo up here. I want to move this Luda in for repairs. Leave the other two there. And what about you? Are you any good? No, only 7 and 480. I'm not going to repair you, but I will send this Luda in for repairs also. How are we looking down here? We're getting our submarines slowly but surely made. We're getting our ZBL-09s. All right, these are arriving on station. Let's go back to here and look at what I was doing. Let's turn that off for a moment. Timber, I think Do I really want to? Because there was a lot of food right here. Let's go with food first. Because there's a lot of high-value food spaces right here. So let's go with food. Really, anything over 200 is grand. But since I've got a supply depot right here, I'm just going to go ahead and build out what we can. These are really good right here. Look at that. Now we've got 171, so if I at least make a third more, that will help. Now the thing about food is, if you make more food, they'll just eat more food. It's tough to get to an equilibrium or even a surplus. 180. All right, we're dropping pretty significantly already. Let's look at the supplies. Looking good here. Still. And we can build on these places that are not 6. $170. Anything above 150, I'll probably just keep building. That's 130. I'll stop it once we've doubled it. And we'll see where that leads us. Remember, we still got very high unemployment. 180, we'll do that. Right next to this airfield. The airfield does put out supply. All right, let's look at this. 191 and 184. All right, I'm gonna pause there and we'll let this build up. We're gonna bring this guy, no, these guys right here. And then you guys right here. And then I'm going to turn off this food overlay. All right, Malawai still wants consumer goods. We are going to sell them. Let's press tab and see what it's right here. That's where that combat is taking place. All right, I think the Badgers, no, they're still not repaired. And I do have it on max everything here. Maintenance and repair and salaries, that kind of stuff. Maintenance and training. You guys are all repaired, though. Let's get you out of there and bring you down to here. Yeah, we're not going to be able to hold this. There's just not enough supply here. Let's take a shot, though, and let's bring... Five, 6... 7. We're going to bring, since this is a little tougher and it's a little further to get aircraft out here, I'm going to see if I can bring one stack of artillery and park it right there. So once these is a stack of 7, I'll move them in there. All right, new units completed. We got some more land units. Let's find out. Let's click types in view. We don't want to grab those. We just want to grab the new ones that just came out. So here's 16. And I say we move them right here for now. All right, so this multi-roll has completed. Let's look at its stats. That was this one. 45 and 60 at 85. The Xi'an is 30 and 37 at 60. The only thing it has is it goes 3,700 versus 3,500. This has 36 air defense. The GN has 39. So it goes further, has slightly better air defense, but it doesn't fire as much and it doesn't do as much damage. So I'm going to start building this guy. Although, hold on, This does 2,200 miles an hour, and that says kilometer, and this only does 1,700. Because, looking at this bad boy, look at that. That's prop. I didn't notice that when I researched it. That looks like it's prop driven. There's no way in heck this is a 112 that's prop driven as a fighter. A multi-role. That I don't believe that. That's got to be a problem with because this is like a C-130. And I don't care what it looks like. I'm going by the stats. It is slow though, so it must be. I don't believe it's a prop driven. That just baffles me. Remember, I'm not used to playing China. It's been many years, maybe as many as 10 years since I played China. That thing is so slow, though. You know what? I'm just going to build 7 more of these. And we're going to set these guys. Oh, they're already in production, so we're good. And they're set to deploy automatically. So let's see if we can find some that deployed. We're looking for these little white dots is what we're looking for. That are not moving. That'll be the aircraft. The ones that are moving are going to be these infantry. All right, I don't see any right off the bat, so we'll go here. Yeah, it doesn't look like any deployed. So let's find them. Got to get down to where it says multi. Right here. We've only got... Let's go to the first one and click on that and find out. Okay, he's here. So let's go back to the main reserves. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've only got 6 built of these. So let's highlight and add highlighted types. There they are. And we want them to come to any airfield over here. There's an airfield right there. And these are a little better than the flankers. Even though the flankers have 80 range, they do 46 and 52. These guys have 60 range, do 30 and 37, but they have a greater range and a faster speed. Where is that at? Again, that's back here. Nothing I can do about that. All right, I think these guys are into a group of 7 now. So we'll take all 7 of these, and we'll park them right here. We're going to use this river to our advantage. It makes it harder for them to attack into this town. I find it interesting that this is loyal to Inner Mongolia. So this used to be Mongolia. Does Mongolia hate China? Yeah, more or less. All right, so looks like the Koreans and the Russians are doing their thing. They're not really bothering me at the moment. So I'm going to send one of these down here. Also, we'll stop right there for now, and then I'll reposition as required. And let's have a look at what's going on here. We'll have these badgers come over here and get a eyes on. All right, let's take that guy out. Got to be careful because we're incurring in the Russian airspace, and they'll come with a fleet of aircraft. Right now, the Koreans are doing well. But again, I'm not pushing. I'm just holding my position now because that's what we want to do until we can push. And then we will push, and we will push greatly. In fact, not a whole lot going on now. So I'm going to speed it back up again, just to fast. I'm going to try to take this Korean out again. It looks like we've got our all Badgers up and running. They do much more damage. So let's see if we can take him out with the Badgers. He should be right there. All right, urban renewal. That means that our infrastructure rating is going to go up, which is grand. And we will look at this transportation. Nope, we don't want that. Let's look at this. Even though this says high bandwidth infrastructure, it's not about infrastructure per se. All right, I've decided to stop right here, and I will pick up right here in the next one. This was a 4-hour session, and I'm cutting the video right here. I didn't intend to leave, but I did. So adios. Thank you.